All right. We talk about Ghislaine Maxwell behind the scene. We talk about these court cases across the country. We've talked about Roe v. Wade possibly being overturned in the next couple months. We've talked about all of these things. But the big thing that happened the other day was Julian Assange. That's right. It was Julian Assange, Mr. WikiLeaks himself, the founder of WikiLeaks. All right. And before we do this, let me pop into this real quick. I want to talk about a couple things that Julian Assange revealed. All right. And why he's been in hiding, why he's been in London. All right. Why he was arrested there, why he's been fighting extradition to the United States. All right. He revealed the Army manual for Guantanamo prison. He revealed all of these things that were happening, these standard operating procedures, these torture mechanisms that were going on. All of the messages, the 9/11 papers, the videos of helicopters shooting down civilians. He practically helped reveal the fraud of our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. All those documents. But the real big fish, all right, the real big fish here, the thing that shows us exactly what is going on, that's these two here on the bottom. The State Department cables and the stolen 26 emails, the 2016 emails. Who do you think that relates to? Who do you think this goes back to? What was happening in 2016 besides Russiagate, besides the DNC, Hillary Clinton, and people funding the fake Russia dossier, the fake document that they used to impeach Trump on, the things that they used, they spied on the Trump campaign. They did all of these different things. It started with Hillary needing to go to jail. And what did she need to go to jail for? For all of the illegal and horrible things she did. What do you want to count? Do you want to talk about Benghazi? Do you want to talk about how she got into politics? What do you want to talk about? Look at this. State Department cables, November 2010 to September 2011. Here's the leaks. More than 250,000 unredacted U.S. diplomatic cables dating from December 1966 to February 2010. They were released into what was referred as Cablegate. And here's the revelation from it, okay? Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called the release an attack on international communities. The documents included verification, all right, that the U.S. had conducted secret drone strikes in Yemen. All right, secret drone strikes in Yemen, illegal activities. He exposed illegal activities, details of U.S. efforts to get information on UN representatives, a push by Saudi Arabia's royal family to have the U.S. strike Iran, and a description of Russia under Vladimir Putin as a virtual mafia state. All right. He uncovered all of those things which greatly embarrassed Hillary Clinton. They embarrassed Hillary Clinton. Bill and Hillary, famous for the murder or disappearance, the mysterious circumstances around dozens of people that have worked with them or crossed them or wronged them. They've mysteriously led a short walk off of a even shorter plank. All right. Hillary Clinton was embarrassed, and you don't embarrass Hillary Clinton, the presidential hopeful of 2016. In fact, she did some shifty stuff to be that presidential hopeful, because if you don't remember, Bernie was winning. Bernie was going to be the nominee, and the left couldn't have that. He might be a socialist, all right, but these leftist, this dynasty, you might call it, of Democrat people, look like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama, right? All of these folks, the Bushes, this corporate, this disgusting, corrupt, this elitist group, right? This elitist group, you really want your mind blown. George H.W. Bush, right? He was actually, I believe, a CIA agent, a high-level CIA agent, and he was involved in the investigation on JFK's murder. But that's for another story for another day. You might want to ask me about that in the comment section below. But this right here, this whole group, this dynasty, like I said, of these preordained, pre-selected elites to further the Build Back Better globalist agenda, to further the New World Order, to further the Great Reset, before it was even called the Great Reset. They've been doing this for years. And what did Julian Assange do? He helped throw a wrench in it. He helped pave the way for people like Donald Trump, which is exactly why they want him dead. But we'll get into that in a second. Here's another leak. July 22nd, 2016, WikiLeaks released nearly 20,000 Democratic National Committee emails. On October 7th, 2016, it released another 2,000 emails from the Clinton campaign manager, John Podesta. Is your memory being jogged yet? Are you starting to see what is happening? Here's the revelations. The emails, which U.S. intelligence later determined had been stolen by hackers working for the Russian government, appeared to show that the DNC had favored Clinton over her rival, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. And among the damaging information in Podesta's emails was the news that the DNC chairwoman, Donna Brazile, had given the Clinton campaign the debate questions in advance. Again, Hillary should be in jail. All of the server deletion. She had that masterclass. You remember? I saw a Twitter comment when it showed her in her masterclass. People actually pay to hear her read her wannabe presidential speech. I should have been the president. And it was so funny. Somebody said, what is she teaching a masterclass in? Wiping a server? Because that's really, she's an idiot. She has literally been given rich, privileged permission into the political sphere, and then gained tons of power with her husband through their nonprofits, their phony organizations, all the different things they've used to steal, launder money. They're just as bad as the Biden crime family. All right, but we could talk about that for another 2 hours as well. Julian Assange, all right, yeah, he did some stuff. He's guilty. He technically is guilty of these crimes, but these crimes revealed major problems within the U.S. government, and even more so revealed major problems within the Clintons. And that's right. That's the issue right there. He's upset the Clintons. All right. He's revealed things. He started a lot of these whirlwinds of accountability that are coming towards the elites. And the other day, the UK ruled that the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, he can be extradited to the USA. He can be tried for espionage by the Biden regime. All right. That is what they ruled in the United Kingdom. All right. And this is what it means. The High Court in the UK has ruled that the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, can be extradited to the United States to face charges of espionage. This ruling by the High Court overturns a ruling from a lower court which said that Assange could not be extradited to the United States due to his mental health. The United States has accused Assange of violating the Espionage Act by publishing classified material and diplomatic documents, saying that this put the country's national security at risk. Now, all right, he is basically going to be held accountable. They want to extradite him back. But here's the problem, all right? If he stands trial for something, he could talk, right? He could talk. He has evidence that he hasn't revealed. There's a reason why they haven't taken him thus far, because if he presses the right button, documents will come out. All right. And heads will roll. All right. I truly believe that he has access to information, much more information on Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, all of these elites. And if something happens, then this information will be released. But something did already happen. How convenient. All right. You remember when they caught Epstein, they found him hanging soon after? Well, now, all right, now they said he could be extradited back. And listen, I want to say this real quick. Listen, the U.S. government has had these top secret, these high-level meetings talking about even kidnapping Julian Assange. That's how crazy it is. Kidnapping him and making him disappear, kidnapping him from the jails in the United Kingdom. Are they capable of that? Did that happen? Well, it's very strange. It's very coincidental. And you know what Mr. Bannon says about coincidences. It's such a coincidence that Julian Assange has stroke in British prison as the courts okay his extradition to the United States. Julian Assange, this is right after they announced the extradition, had a stroke in Belmarsh prison in the United Kingdom. And his fiancée, Stella Morris, suggested it was triggered by stress generated by his ongoing time in jail. It says Assange, the 50-year-old WikiLeaks founder, is being held at the maximum security jail in London. During the trial, the High Court ruled Assange can be extradited. He was unwell, and the prison still forced him to go to the prison video room, even after the judge excused him during the hearing. All right? He's had a stroke. He had it on the morning of his latest hearing. All right. So let me ask you a question. I need to ask you this question. All right. Do you think he really had a stroke? Or do you think that the United States tried to kill him? Do you think if they extradite him back to the United States, he'll be able to stand trial? And if he stands trial, do you think he'll reveal secrets about the left, reveal secrets possibly about Hillary Clinton? We already talked about the US, the CIA, the FBI, all of the different groups here conspiring to kidnap him and make him disappear. So why couldn't they be possibly doing the same? Or, with the tensions lately between the US and the UK, is this an MI6 type thing? Do you think he's okay? Do you think possibly the British government, the UK, they're trying to help him disappear? Maybe to come out later with some secrets? Maybe, just maybe he did actually have a stroke. Or maybe, just maybe, the stroke is being orchestrated to get him to safety. Or maybe, and unfortunately most likely, though I have no sources to verify this, maybe the FBI and the CIA tried to make it so that he would be able to come to the US, but he wouldn't be cognitive enough to spill the beans on whatever secrets he has left. But one thing's for certain, folks. One thing is for absolutely certain. Julian Assange terrifies Hillary Clinton.